Prince Harry leaves the royal family, in uncharted territory as the king faces a dilemma. Prince Harry has put the king in a dilemma over his son's legal role within the royal family. Constitutionalists warn that Britain is in uncharted territory. Prince Harry is one of the few members of the royal family who can rule in the king's absence. Welcome to Royal Pancakes. Please don't forget to subscribe and click the notifications bell, so you don't miss any updates about the British royal family. However, his position could be challenged in court, as the prince no longer qualifies for the role. The Duke of Sussex is one of the king's state advisors who can step in to govern if necessary. However, state councilors must reside in the UK, which is no longer the case for Harry. Harry, Meghan and their 2 children currently live in Montecito, California, and the Sussexes British base at Frogmore Cottage was taken away from them earlier this year. Constitutional law expert Dr Craig Prescott said, "We are truly in uncharted waters here. The situation surrounding Prince Harry is not something the law easily takes into account." The idea of the king's second son choosing a life outside of royal duties is not something the law has considered, and I imagine Buckingham Palace would be concerned. King had the opportunity last year to testify before the state legislature, but he chose not to. Harry's retention of the title Councillor of State has created a dilemma that the king is trying to resolve. Training for estate advisor positions proved controversial, as 3 non-working royals, Harry, Prince Andrew and Beatrice, were all on the list. The king later added Princess Anne and Prince Edward to the list, but Harry and Andrew still retain their positions. Many believe the king allowed them to retain their positions to avoid an escalation of tension. According to royal sources, courtiers have discussed leasing a royal estate to Harry and Meghan to overcome this legal hurdle. A friend of Charles said, "The king is aware that removing Harry as Councillor of State would be seen as an act of hostility, and he does not want to do it. If his son is to be deported, that seems like a reasonable step." Buckingham Palace rejected the claims as false and said Harry would continue to receive temporary accommodation. A friend of the Duke said, "Meghan seems to have decided that coming back for more is not what she wants to do, but Harry would love that. It's interesting to have a base in her home country, despite everything that's happened. There's work to be done here on the charity front, and there may be opportunities in the future where she'll want to be here a little more." The friend said that if Charles offered the Sussexes a house on the royal estate, it would be a very small softening of relations. If Harry were to have a permanent base in Britain again, the uncharted waters the Duke currently finds himself in relation to his role would calm down. A British residency would also help solve the security problem. The prince no longer benefits from Metropolitan Police security when he returns home. Relations between Charles and his youngest son Harry appeared strained as it was revealed yesterday that the prince had turned down his father and stepmother's invitation to Balmoral to join them on the anniversary of the Queen's death. The Duke of Sussex decided to spend the anniversary alone before heading to the Invictus Games later that day. A source close to Charles said, "It is frustrating that personal matters interfere with public duties. He would much prefer the focus to be on his work and not on the soap opera of his private life. It's always frustrating when family dynamics overshadow public roles."